Okay, so just over 2 years ago I did a little video called 8 footballers you didn't know were still playing. It was decent, check it out. And today I've decided to do the same. I'm going to whiz through the 8 players from the previous video and pick out the ones that are still going, then look at some other players you won't believe can still be bothered to lace up a pair of boots. So here we go, here's 14 players you didn't know were still playing. Number 1, SHUNSUKE Nakamura. I singled out the Japanese midfielder 2 years ago, and in 2020 he's still going strong despite now being in his 40s. The Celtic legend is 41 now, turning 42 in June, and is still playing in the top flight of Japanese football for Yokohama FC, having won promotion last season. I mean, fair play to Nakamura, but considering how good he is at free kicks, he probably doesn't have to do much running. Number 2, Morten Gams Pedersen. A second player from my 2018 video is still going, and it's another man who's partial to a wonder goal or two. Pedersen was a hero during his time at Blackburn, and the way he struck a ball with a sweet left foot was a thing of beauty. Well, he's 38 years old now, which is still quite young considering he joined Blackburn in 2004, and he's now playing for Alta in the 3rd tier of Norwegian football. Number 3, MASSIMO MACCARONE. Our third and final player still going from the 2018 video, Massimo Maccarone's hit the grand old age of 40 and he's back playing in his native Italy. To be fair, it's probably a name that'll mean nothing to you unless you're of a Middlesbrough persuasion, but if you are, you can live safe in the knowledge that one of your UEFA Cup heroes of 2006 is still going in the Italian 3rd division for CRUZ. Sorry, just a quick one, if you haven't already and like yourself some Football Manager and FIFA, please check out Alexpo and hit that subscribe button, as it would really help us on the road to 20,000 subscribers. I'm at HITC James on Twitter, so if you show me that you sub, I'll even treat you a little follow back. Anyway, back to today's video. Number 4, Dong Lee. We've got another ex-Borough striker, although this one isn't quite as legendary. And to be honest, if you watched the video I did the other week, you know this guy's still playing. The South Korean striker was pretty awful in a Middlesbrough shirt, but 12 years on he's going strong now, and a bit of a legend back home. Lee plays for Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors and scored the winner in the first game of the season the other week in a game that loads of people watched because there was literally no other football on anywhere. Number 5, Michael ESSIEN. If you're a fan of Azerbaijani football, then you'll know that Michael ESSIEN is the star of the show over there. The midfielder was once a key player for Jose Mourinho at Chelsea, and now at 37, the Ghanaian is playing for Sabale, although his 1.5-year contract is winding down. However, he's also a youth coach there, which will likely see him stay in Azerbaijan. I've heard it's nice this time of the year, to be honest. Number 6, Yuri Zhirkov. We've got another ex-Chelsea player, and one who didn't really impress as expected at Stamford Bridge. Zhirkov is a big name in Russian football, but he was far from a hit in the Premier League, which is why he spent the rest of his career back in Russia. At 36, Zhirkov is still going down the left, playing for Zenit St Petersburg alongside some big names, including former teammate Branislav Ivanovic. Number 7, Fabrizio COLOCCINI. Despite his time as a Magpie ending in disappointment with relegation and a desperation to return home, Fabrizio COLOCCINI will still go down as a modern day Newcastle legend who captained the side during an interesting time up north. He was a class act at the back, and a man who actually broke his back doing an overhead kick next to the corner flag, which tells you all you need to know about him, to be honest. But 4 years on since his Newcastle exit, COLOCCINI is still playing football in Argentina, continuing to line up for San Lorenzo in the Primera Division. Number 8, JUNICHI INAMOTO. This one's for fans of Arsenal, Fulham, West Brom and Cardiff, the 4 British clubs who Inamoto represented in the early 2000s. He's a midfielder who was brought to England by Arsene Wenger, but he's been back playing in his native Japan since 2010. He's basically just sliding down the leagues, and at the age of 40 he's playing for Sagamihara in the 3rd tier, where I assume he's probably the biggest name in the league. Then again, I don't know how big an accolade that is, it's like being the funny one on Mrs Brown's Boys. Number 9, Maxi Rodriguez. A man from Liverpool's past and a player I loved during his time at Atletico because of a banger he scored at the 2006 World Cup. Rodriguez is still going 14 years after that wicked volley, and the midfielder is playing for Newell's Old Boys for the 3rd time in his career, having started there in the 90s. Well, in 2020 he's a 39-year-old veteran for the Argentinian club, playing alongside a man who Blackburn fans will remember, Mauro Formica. Number 10, Nigel de Jong. Surprisingly, Nigel de Jong's only 35 years old. I would have thought he'd be getting closer to 40 considering it's 10 years since he tried to kick the absolute soul out of Xabi Alonso and Howard Webb did nothing about it. Anyway, de Jong was an enforcer at Man City, a Fernandinho before Fernandinho was there, but he left in 2012 for AC Milan and spent 4 years there. After that he'd go to the MLS with LA Galaxy, then Galatasaray, then Mainz, and then finally Qatar, where he's now playing for his second club, Al Shahania. He's still chasing that paycheck at 35, and fair play to him, I'll do the same. Number 11, Wes Hoolahan. Norwich, West Brom, then Newcastle. That's been the career path for Wes Hoolahan, and it's not a bad little career until you realise it's Newcastle Jets over in Australia, the club who famously brought us HESCI Cam. Sadly, there's no GoPro following Hoolahan around, but he's still enjoying his football in Australia at the age of 38, having rejected a move to Cambridge United last year. I mean, I've never been to Cambridge, but if I had to choose between a can of Fosters or a bloody boat race, I'd choose the Fosters every time. Number 12, Roque Santa Cruz. A face from Man City's past they're likely want to forget, Roque Santa Cruz cost a huge £17.5 million in 2009, at a time when City were kind of just throwing money around following their takeover. He struggled at the Etihad, but he's not struggling anymore, now a captain at the age of 38. The Paraguayan striker plays for Club Olimpia in his home nation, and the weirdest thing about the whole thing is that he's joined there by Emmanuel Adebayor. Number 13, Joaquin. Okay, this one's probably quite well known, but the Spanish sensation deserves some recognition for playing so long at the highest level. The bloke's 38 now, and has pretty much spent his full career playing in La Liga, bar his debut season in the second tier and 2 years in Serie A with Fiorentina. Joaquin is an absolute legend at Real Betis, and still plays a hell of a lot despite nearly being old enough for a free bus pass. Last year he scored the first ever hat-trick of his career, and he became the oldest player to do it in Spain, and he's all set to play on until 2021 with the green and white side. Let's all raise a glass to Joaquin and pray we can be as useful as he is when we're nearly 40. And finally, number 14, Emre Belözoğlu. Our 14th and final player, Emre is famous in Newcastle simply for the fact he scored a wicked free kick to win a Tyne-Wear derby back in 2005. But his career has also been blighted by racism accusations, even getting a suspended prison sentence in Turkey following comments made towards Didier Zokora, who ended up taking the law into his own hands and kicking Emre square in the testicles. A violent act, but one that was well and truly warranted. Since then, Emre has continued to play in Turkey, now 39 and taking his third spell with Fenerbahce. However, it's unknown whether or not he's had kids since Zokora gave a whole new meaning to the Kick It Out campaign. So those are 14 players who are surprisingly still going. Let us know of any more in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to HITC Sport, and until next time, we'll see you around.